Welcome to the underground, you rebel scum. This is the American Expat. Now, I have some good news for those of you who like to watch this sort of video. We got some traction, which means I want to thank those of you who shared out the video because it's all because of you that it happened. I think that we're going to be able to keep this channel as it is, with me making these kinds of videos, and we can do the other stuff on a different channel because it might be viable after all. The subscriber count is moving in a positive direction. Lots of comments coming in. Some of them are, they're interesting, but they have given me something to talk about because I have seen a recurring theme in the comments suggesting that, because of Donald Trump's tariffs, pretty soon, after this truck goes by with the boat, pretty soon, all of us MAGA types are going to regret having him in office because the tariffs are going to make everything so expensive. And when they get rid of all of those immigrants, the illegal immigrants, then nobody's going to work for cheap wages. And everything's going to get expensive again, and inflation and blah, blah, blah. Well, I think that there's a misunderstanding about the tariffs and about the entire situation. And I'd like to go into that today and explain the tariff situation and what's really going on, at least according to my simple mind. And I think that maybe after I'm done, you guys will agree. So grab your favorite caffeinated beverage and let's go ahead and get into this. Thanks for sticking with us. Hopefully you've had your caffeine. I've got mine in the car. Now, as I said, sharing the video out has really helped to boost this, so I would like to invite you to share it with your friends. If you enjoy it, if you enjoy making fun of it, whatever it is, they probably will too. They're your friends. They probably like similar things. So go ahead and share it out if you don't mind. Let's continue to have this grow. And now, without further delay, let's talk about the tariffs. Now, I want to read a comment because I think that this one kind of exemplifies the types of comments that I've been getting about the tariffs in a way that is not not so horrible. Okay, let's see. This is from Chaos Blade 5906. As a liberal Democrat, I was never ashamed of being American, even now. But wait until those tariffs hit and Social Security and Medicare are cut. Then we'll see how back America is. Well, I'm going to share a little anecdote here. Back in World War II, or I guess prior to World War II, Joseph Stalin, the leader of the Soviet Union, had a certain adversary, somebody really, really evil that we all consider to be a very bad guy. Joseph Stalin, of course, has turned out to be a really, really bad guy as well. But the bad guy that he really hated wrote a book. So he decided that it was a good idea to read that book in order to understand his adversary. Of course, the adversary I'm talking about is Adolf Hitler, a really horrible individual who is responsible for the deaths of millions. It's funny that both of those people are responsible for the deaths of millions. But anyway, he decided to read his book. He hated Adolf Hitler, as all of us should, but it wasn't something that prevented him from learning about this adversary. So he read his book, and he learned a lot about him that helped him to understand him. Of course, he made some never mind. Bad example. But I wanted to point this out. If you don't like Donald Trump, if you do like Donald Trump, he wrote a book. He's written several books. The main one that I think you should focus on is The Art of the Deal. And in there, he talks about this thing called the Big Ask. See, at one point, he wanted to build his famous building in New York, but they wouldn't let him because of whatever reason. And so it had to be under a certain number of floors. So he designed this hideous-looking building that fit what they had said it had to fit in, regulation-wise. And he showed him the plans and told him he was going to build it, and they panicked, and they said, okay, you can build the big thing that you wanted to build. It's a similar thing with the tariffs. You'll see where I'm going with this. Now, right now, if you wanted to sell stuff in China, guess what you're going to find? You have to pay tariffs. It's going to cost you if you want to sell in China, unless you partner with a Chinese company and you manufacture your stuff inside China. Then you can avoid it. This is the same all over the place. The people want to protect their market, so they have these tariffs in place. The one that the United States doesn't do that very much. As you pointed out, gosh, the prices will go through the roof. But no, they won't. I mean, yeah, if they put the tariffs in, prices will go up. But that's the whole point. It's to scare them. It's the big ask. He does not intend to put those tariffs in there, and if he does, it's not to be there for very long. What it's going to do is force the Chinese and everybody else to say, hey, if you want to sell your stuff in the United States, you're going to have to make it here. You're going to have to come over here and make it. Now, I know you're all concerned about the wages and stuff. Well, when did illegal immigrants become a solution for that? I mean, gosh, we have laws about minimum wage. Why would we circumvent them by having slave labor? That's ridiculous. If that's the problem, if the wages are the problem, then we need to do something about the wages and not just bring in people that'll work and not pay taxes and, you know, basically slave labor, a new kind of slave labor. I'm sure that the South was making similar arguments back before the Civil War about why slavery was necessary. Yeah, well, you know, who's going to work for free? Nobody. That's the whole reason we have the minimum wage laws. We don't want people working for less money. We want them to be able to survive, right? Now, the minimum wage is a joke. And all that it's done is what you have said. It's, you know, created inflation. It does nothing. We need to figure that out. We need some smart people to look into this and figure out how we can have people live better. Maybe, you know, well, nobody's going to want deflation. There was also a lot of comments about this, that, you know, rich people own assets and blah, 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 and poor people. Well, yeah, but guess what? Inflation doesn't change the value of property. Sure, it changes the amount of cash it's worth, but it's still the same value because the cash is worth less. The reason you have stuff like that is, well, okay, actually, you're correct. That is, it holds value. It doesn't increase in value, but it does hold its value, whereas cash, well, if you have a bunch of savings, then your money is basically evaporating into thin air. Your net worth is going away. So, yeah, just some side notes. But yeah, that's what the tariffs, I don't think that he intends to have permanent tariffs, even if he does put tariffs in place. It's a bargaining chip to force these other places to make a deal. It's the big ask. So, tariffs. Next time somebody talks to you about Donald Trump and his tariffs, keep that in mind. That's what it's really all about. So don't stress about it. Whatever side you happen to be on, don't worry. It's going to be all right. Now, I would at this point get into your comments, but, well, there's so many of them now that that really would probably take a long, long time. So, yeah, oh goodness, remember when the comment section was so small? I'm glad that it's big. I'm going to have to make some changes to that. So if you see a particular comment that you really like, go ahead and upvote it. Give it a thumbs up. And give the video a thumbs up as well. Or a thumbs down, whatever you want to do. I'll take it. It's all interaction. I want to see some interaction here. But yeah, give it a thumbs up. It'll move up in the ranks, and I will go through the top 10. And that will be kind of how it works, I guess, if we continue to get lots of comments, which I hope that we will. And with that, I'll let you guys know about the other channels as I start putting other kinds of videos on them. And other than that, I'll see you guys in the next one.